Sky News made a report about a person who did away with someone after showing a certain proclivity for causing pain by first experimenting on animals. I do hope I got that past YouTube. I'm Grannyopteryx. So this horrible, evil, mad person committed a dreadful act against a cat, filmed the act and then put it up on Instagram or YouTube or whatever, because they've got the video of it. And as if that wasn't warning enough, this person then committed another horrendous act, this time taking the life of an innocent bystander. I have to be so careful about what I'm saying. I do hope you appreciate that. And this person happened to be what is described as transgender. Now, as I keep on pointing out, there are two types. There's one type, which is somebody who feels he, a man, would be happier living as a woman, goes through all the trouble and aggro of resembling a woman, and then lives a quiet life, doesn't bother anyone. And we've lost touch now. I used to have a friend who was transgender. I didn't think of her in any other way than that she was a woman, although we both knew that in certain respects she was not, in most respects she was not. But that's how she chose to live her life, and that was fine with me. Never caused anyone any trouble. But there is another sort of transgender who has definite psychological problems. They're just mad. And in many cases, they've chosen pretending to be a woman as a get out of jail free, sometimes quite literally. So that's a persona. I don't think anyone thinks that these people really do think that they're women. And this person is one of them. And the fact that this person refers to himself as a woman does not make him a woman, and certainly doesn't deserve the privilege of being called one. And yet we get Sky News here saying a woman who filmed herself, and then what he filmed himself doing. And then, this 4 months later, and referred to this person as she the whole time. And J.K. Rowling says, I'm so sick of this shit. This is not a woman. These are not our crimes. Well, first of all, why is this important? This is the data from the Ministry of Justice. Comparisons of official MOJ statistics from March to April 2019. 76 sex offenders out of 129 trans women. That's 58% of what's called trans women. 58% of them have committed sex offences. Of 3,812 women in prison, 125 of them committed sex offences. That is 3% of the female population, the ones who were born female. Of the 78,781 men in prison, 13,234 of them had committed sex offences. So they were sex offenders in prison, and that's 16%, 16.8% of men in prison. So it's quite obvious what the figures are like. Damn near 59% of trans women, that is men who are pretending they're women, 59% of them are sex offenders. Of the men in prison, 16% of them are sex offenders. Of the women in prison, 3% of them are sex offenders. And this is the way we can, this is information we need to run our justice system. When people like this fellow are convicted of a sex offence as a woman, then it skews these figures. So that's why it's so dangerous. That's just in general dangerous, but it's not the truth either. And as this tweet says in response, how can anyone trust the press to be telling the truth when whopping great lies like this are getting to be a regular occurrence? We are losing our grip on truth, and we are losing our trust in the people we should be trusting to tell us the truth. And then this, I'm sorry to say this is a woman here, but she's a little bit on her own. Why is her gender, no. Why is her gender an issue to you? Her gender identity isn't a crime. Her killing cats and people are crimes. Is it just that you want to use it to help with your demagoguery? Well, that's what this woman says. But the comeback comes from, there's another woman here. The Guardian reported it as a woman too. The Daily Mail reported it as a trans woman, not perfect but better. A sad state of affairs when the Mail is more reliable than any other mainstream news outlet. I'm sorry to have to remind you of this, madam, but the Guardian is not now and never has been a beacon of truth. And then there was this comment. It isn't up to you to tell LGBTQIA people who they are. Perhaps stay in your lane. That's a man there. And then this woman, here comes the LGBTQ plus mafia to argue that JK is not respecting this person's preferred gender is worse than killing a cat and putting it in a blender. This perhaps stay in your lane is quite a common expression given by people who have no real argument. There's another one, okay boomer, that's another one. I get that a lot. Yeah, like being a boomer is a guarantee that I haven't got things right. You know, that's it. Boomer, wrong in that person's mind. An idiot. Just an idiot. And here, stay in your lane. Yeah, toe the line. If the press says that that's a woman, toe the line. Whatever you see on either side, toe the line. Look, when you're driving it along a motorway, that's a freeway to you guys in America, and you see an accident ahead, you get out of that lane, don't you? That's the idiocy of telling people to stay in their lane. Right, well, yeah. That's what I have to say about the J.K. Rowling fracas. Till next time. Why not treat yourself or a favoured relative or friend to these magnificent examples of merch? The mugs and t-shirts come in the Graniopteryx design or Grambo with a firearm or the more deadly knitting needles. Go to www.graniopteryx.com and whatever platform you're watching this on, please click like, subscribe and share.